Now there's a verse in the Holy Quran in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ. So that's verse 222 of Surah Al-Baqarah. They ask you about the mahid, about the menstrual cycle. قُلْ هُوَ أَذًا فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ. The Quran gives a command to men not to approach their wives during this period. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوهُنَّ حَتَّى يَطْهُرْ. You cannot approach them, have relations with them, until they became pure, until they become pure. Now the Holy Quran uses the word يَطْهُرْنَ. Let's write it to see why there's a difference in pronunciation. يَطْهُرْنَ. يَطْهُرْنَ comes from the word tahara, which means purity. What's that noon at the end? يَطْهُرْنَ. Noon in niswa. It's called the feminine n, which is a pronoun that refers to only females. حَتَّى يَطْهُرْنَ, and it's for plural. Now there are two recitations when it comes to this word. The popular, most common recitation is what we have in the common versions of the Holy Quran. It's يَطْهُرْنَ. They become pure. There's another recitation, another pronunciation, which is the same letters, same word, but the haraka changes. يَطَّهَّرْنَ. يَطَّهَّرْنَ. There's a shadda on the ta. يَطْهُرْنَ is the first pronunciation. The second is يَطَّهَّرْنَ. For those who know Arabic, what's the difference between these two words? They both mean purity. What's the difference between them?
The second one is when they do it.
Exactly. The first one, يَطْهُرْنَ, means they become pure. يَطَّهَّرْنَ implies effort, which means they make themselves pure. Which means what? How does a woman after the cycle make herself pure? Takes a shower. So if we say يَطَّهَّرْنَ, it means ghusl. If we say يَطْهُرْنَ, it means the blood stops. So the Quran says men are not allowed to have relations with their wives until يَطْهُرْنَ. If we take the first recitation, it means that the minute the blood stops, then that prohibition is removed, even if they have not taken a shower yet. If we go with the second recitation, what does it indicate? For the prohibition to be removed, what needs to happen? She must take a shower. She must do ghusl. Now these are two qira'ah. The most common one is the first one, and this is what you will find in most copies of the Quran. But there is the second qira'ah. And by the way, we do have hadiths that some companions of the Imams would read it the second way. For example, you have, Hafs, Hamza, Kisa'i, these famous reciters of the Quran. They would read it يَطَّهَّرْنَ with the shadda. And that changes the meaning, because it indicates when the prohibition can be lifted. In fact, we have a hadith that one of them recited the verse saying يَطَّهَّرْنَ in front of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. The Imam remained silent and he just heard. And he did not say anything, which might indicate what? Tacit approval. When a verse is being recited in your presence and you don't stop to correct him, that means he may have accepted that recitation. That's why there are scholars throughout history who have taken the second recitation. But Maraja today say no, let's just go with the most common recitation, which the Imams also sanctioned, because people would read it that way. The Imam did not prohibit the people. They did not tell the Shias you have to read it the second way. So we generally go with the first method. And that's why the fatwa of scholars, today most maraji', if you look at their fatwa, they say that when the blood stops, that prohibition is removed. Even if the woman has not done ghusl yet. They mention this in the book of fatwa. But if you read the verse yattaharna, then your fatwa has to be what? She has to do the ghusl for the prohibition to be lifted. So that's the verse that we have in the Holy Quran. But we read it according to the most common recitation, which is yathurna. But you see how one shadda changes the meaning. Because it comes from a different form or weight in the Arabic language, which has a slightly different meaning. It involves effort, which means ghusl here.